Good morning and happy Sunday from my walk to the Tunbridge Wells Half Marathon. So you'll be pleased to know, or maybe you won't be pleased to know, I don't know, but my surgery all went fine on Monday, and it wasn't as intrusive as it could have been. I had general anaesthetic, so I was a little bit out of it for a few days, but I managed to do a treadmill tester run on Thursday, and then did a longish run Friday, not quite as I planned. I wanted to do like an overs and unders session, but I felt a bit sluggish. And then I did parkrun yesterday. So I'm going to start this vlog by rolling back to Ashford parkrun yesterday, and you can see how I got on there before we get to the Tunbridge Wells Half Marathon. Good morning and happy Saturday. So I am down at Ashford parkrun this morning, which is a new parkrun for me. I've not been here before, because we are down actually celebrating my mother-in-law's 70th birthday. So we're down, we've rented a house down in Littlestone on the coast, and we're about half an hour drive away from here. So we drove down last night to Littlestone, and then this is the closest parkrun actually, because Folkestone's been cancelled this morning, so I'm up here. It's fairly mild, given how cold it was last week, and it's not raining for a change. So yeah, so we'll see how Ashford parkrun holds up. So it is a little bit windy, you might be able to hear, but my understanding is it is a 2-lap course, and it is fairly flat, although I think there might be a little undulation at the end of each of the first laps. Something for each of the laps, not each of the first laps, from the reviews I've read. So I guess we'll wait and see. The plan this morning is to try and run a sort of controlled 20-ish minute 5k. I've got Tunbridge Wells Half Marathon tomorrow, so I don't want to go all guns blazing, but I would like to see how a 20-minute 5k feels, effort and heart rate wise. Given that I ran 18:06 last weekend, so what is a 2-minute difference basically? So yeah, we'll wait and see.
Okay, can you down? 3, 2, 1, go!
So that is over halfway now, but I've gone off a bit quick, so I probably just need to rein it in a bit on this second lap. Thanks, Marshall. So about 19 minutes-ish, a bit quick, it is what it is.
Well done.
Thanks guys, cheers. So there we go, just on my cool down now. I think I was about just over 19 minutes, so yeah, it was a bit quicker, but I sort of had a group of people who felt like they were running a similar pace, and there was a bit of a gap behind me, so I just sort of took it at their pace really. Maybe a bit quick to say I'm running a half marathon tomorrow, but I guess we'll see what happens. So I've just been to get a coffee, and now I'm waiting for my sister-in-law's partner Dan to come through the scanners. So he's just finished, so we both came over this morning. There he is. He's borrowed my trainers and shorts and socks because he didn't bring any. So thankfully I brought a spare this weekend. There he is. Right, I'll see you in a bit. So it is currently fairly mild. There's a little bit of drizzle in the air, but it's not too bad. I think the likelihood is the weather is going to get worse, but as I'm sure if you're in the UK, you'll be aware that it has been fairly dreadful so far this winter, and it's basically rained every day of 2026 so far. So it's not really unusual or a surprise that it's going to rain, but hey ho, conditions are okay. So I'm just off to the headquarters because I'm handing out race numbers beforehand, so all of our club are kind of expected to support in some way, whether that's marshalling or doing the race numbers or helping with the car parking beforehand, because we organise the whole event. I think there's usually about 1,600 people, so it's a fairly big event. If you saw the vlog a few weeks ago, you'll know I ran the course, and there is one fairly epic hill called Spring Hill, and the rest is sort of undulating. But you can run fast times. I know people who've run fast times on it. It's not my aim today. My aim today is going to be to run in and around marathon pace for the first 8 miles, so until the top of the aforementioned Spring Hill, and then I'll see what I've got left from kind of mile 8 onwards, and whether I decide to pick it up or whether I just decide to kind of stick with marathon pace. So my PB here is 1:24.18. We're definitely not going for that today, but under 1:30, sort of 1:27, 1:28 would be nice, but we'll just see how we get on. Setting up the finish line. This will be a very different place in a couple of hours. Right, let's go into race HQ. See what's going on. Good morning.
You're checking out the badge?
I think I've got a small actually. I think so. So I'm just on a little warm-up. It is around about 20 to 9, something along those lines. So I'm just going to do, I don't know, mile and a half of warm-up to the start line. Numbers handed out. Got all my kit together. Hi Nick, you alright? Cheers. And yeah, ooh, this warm-up is feeling a little tougher than one should feel, which doesn't bode massively well, does it? But hey ho, it's about 15 minutes to the start now. Just bumped into a few people, had a bit of a chat. Conditions don't seem to be getting any worse, so a little bit of light drizzle, a little bit of wind, but actually pretty good conditions for running. I've got to say, I am running in the Metaspeed Sky Paris, the Asics Metaspeed Sky Paris again today, because this is not a goal race. So I am going to be, I don't want to use the race morning. Yeah, so as I said, I've got a goal half marathon in a couple of weeks. This is not it. So I'm not wearing my Metaspeed race, but I've got my trusty Metaspeed Sky Paris on. But I've run this race in before, and generally they're probably coming towards the end of their life. I've done quite a lot of mileage in them, but they definitely still give me a spring. They're still very light compared to my others. We'll go with them today, see what happens. So I just got halfway in round about 123, and I'm still behind the 130 paces, so they're giving themselves plenty of time for the hill that is literally coming up now. So 43, not 123, 43, which run even splits to 126, but I'll probably slow down this hill a little bit. Oh, great finish, mate. Well done. It's easy-ish, yeah. Ish.
There you go.
Thanks, mate.
Brilliant run.
Cheers, buddy. Hi, Joe. Tunbridge Wells Half Marathon done. And my watch time said 1:26:53. So, yeah, I'll be broadly there or thereabouts to get my official time. So, slowest I've ever run it by nearly 2 minutes, but I paced it like pretty well in terms of like what I was trying to do for the first 8 miles, which is to get to the top of Spring Hill feeling good, and I did. But then weirdly I kicked on, so I went past the 130 paces because they were obviously sort of front loading it, and I got really bad stitch at mile 9, and I never get stitch, which was a bit worrying. So I dropped my pace off to kind of around about 6:50-ish per mile. But yeah, it was weird. It eased off actually, so I did manage to pick it up again, but I just never really felt totally comfortable from then on. So the plan to like really accelerate from mile 8 never really happened. But you know, I think I said a 1:28-ish beforehand, and I ran sub 1:27, so probably a little bit more effort than I'd planned. But yeah, on the whole, pretty good. Finished strongly. Got overtaken by a few people in the last sprint finish, which you'll see on the actual footage. But I am reasonably pleased with that. I think if you'd said comfortable-ish 1:27 at the beginning, I'd have taken it. So right, let's go and see what else is going on.
Lucy Reed. In second place, Charlotte Johnson in 1:24:18. And third place, Elizabeth Owen in 1:24:37. Dylan Hobbs from Tunbridge Wells Harriers, 1 hour, 8 minutes and 29 seconds. Second place, Joshua Mitchell, 1 hour, 14 minutes and 41.
So I'd love to say that this is now Sunday evening and it's post-race, but I would be lying. This is a couple of days later now, so it's Tuesday evening. And the reason being was once I got home from the half marathon on Sunday, I then went back out for Sunday lunch with my wife's family to continue the 70th birthday celebrations. And I had every intention of doing some filming in the evening, like this little outro and trying to get everything done. But I got hit with what was either food poisoning or some sort of lingering stomach bug. But yeah, Sunday evening, I suddenly started feeling dreadful. So I started getting really chilly, like stomach cramps. I had to go to the loo a lot and it just wasn't pleasant. And it wasn't great, really. I mean, it's still not great now, Tuesday evening. But yeah, I've been really suffering, really lethargic, like the stomach cramps and, you know, all those associated nightmarish things that go with it have really wiped me out for the last 2 days. So it's not exactly how it went to plan, because I was due to go to London yesterday, Monday, and I had a lunch run planned in London. I had a really busy day at work and none of that happened. I was meant to be in London today and I was meant to be at intervals tonight. That didn't happen. But I feel like hopefully I am starting to turn a corner on now Tuesday evening. The cramps are much less pronounced and they are easing and I feel a lot less lethargic. My appetite's coming back. I haven't eaten since Sunday afternoon. So yeah, I feel like I'm ready to get something in my body. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, last week, so it was always going to be a down week for me because I had my operation last Monday. So I'd already planned in, I'd had 3 50-mile weeks previous to last week. So having a down week wasn't necessarily a bad thing. So I'd aimed to run around about 35 miles last week. And I think I came in at about 33 in the end because I didn't do a cool down after the race, which was maybe silly, but I mean, I've given myself a few days off now, so perhaps it doesn't matter so much. So 33 miles, treadmill testing run on Thursday just to make sure that after the operation everything was okay. The longer run on Friday, a little bit sluggish. I planned on the overs and unders session, I think I'd mentioned that, which just turned into a steady session. And then I had parkrun Saturday and the half marathon on Sunday. So the half marathon itself, as I think I said in a debrief, I was reasonably pleased with. I think now potentially looking back, when I look at my Whoop metrics from Sunday morning, and I actually didn't see them before the race, I only saw them afterwards. My recovery was at 8% when I woke up on Sunday morning. 2 out of the 5 of my health metrics were not good. I'd had 4 hours and 51 minutes sleep, so I didn't sleep well. And I'm starting to wonder whether or not I actually already had something underlying on Sunday morning. So if I did, and I still managed to knock out a sub 127 half marathon, then great. But that might explain why from mile 8, I got that stitch and I couldn't necessarily kick on how I would have liked. It was a really good day, really well organised, brilliantly done by my club, the Tunbridge Wells Harriers, and everybody else who supported, all the sponsors, and you know the pacers from the other clubs as well. So Tunbridge Athletic came and helped. I had Nicola and Sarah pacing 1:30 and 1:40. They introduced a quiet zone this year, was great. Introduced more female toilets, and I think all in all it was really well received. The only slight hiccup was at the start. We started about 8 minutes late at the end because there were some temporary traffic lights just after the start and traffic just kept coming onto the road. So there was a little bit of a delayed start, but hopefully that didn't cause too many issues to too many people. So there we go. So down week last week. This week was meant to be a big week, another big week, but I've had 2 days off and I'm going to have Thursday off because I'm traveling. So whether I run tomorrow, Wednesday, will depend on how I feel in the morning. Like I said, I think I'm getting better. But it looks like it might not be another big mileage this week. And I don't want to just chase mileage. I've had 2 days off. I don't want to suddenly do, big 15-mile days when I don't need to, or I don't want to put my body under that level of strain. So I'll probably come in and around between 40 to 45 again this week and build up. And then the week after that is my goal race half marathon. So that is the Paddockwood half marathon, which is very flat. It's been a goal race for me in the years preceding. I've got my half marathon PB there, which is 1:21:28, and I did it in 1:22 dead last year. Am I in that shape? I'm not sure. But again, a sub 1:25 would be nice. but we'll see in a couple of weeks. So yeah, that is this week done. Tunbridge Wells Half Marathon. Well done to everybody who organised it, marshalled it, supported it, paced it, sponsored it. Thank you so much. It was a really good day out. I had a great day, and hopefully I'm going to shake this bug and I'll be back to running in the next few days. I'll see you next week.